Ever wonder how someone can build a legit six-figure business, basically from scratch, with nothing more than a personal brand and a decent internet connection? Well, today, we're going to find out. We are diving deep into the modern creator economy with a business case study that pulls back the curtain on the strategy, the marketing, and yeah, the money behind a whole new type of entrepreneur. You know, it's the question that's on every entrepreneur's mind. How on earth do you find an edge? How do you build a real, loyal customer base and create something that lasts when it feels like literally everyone is fighting for the same eyeballs? So for this explainer, we're going to strip away all the noise, all the controversy, and focus purely on the business mechanics. We're looking at our subject, Zara Yazmin, as an entrepreneur, as a solo business owner whose journey, believe it or not, holds some incredibly valuable lessons for anyone trying to build a brand online today. All right, so here's our game plan. We're breaking this down into 5 parts. First, we'll meet this new kind of entrepreneur. Then we'll get into her brand and its core strategy. We'll look at a massive strategic decision she had to make. We'll decode her actual business model. And then finally, we'll zoom out and see what her story really tells us about the future of work. Okay, let's get right into it. Our case study is Zara Yazmin. She's 26, from Ireland, and in 2021, she went from a regular 9-to-5 job to building this really powerful solo business in less than a year. She is the perfect example of this new wave of entrepreneurs who are just completely rewriting the rulebook in real time. I mean, her story is just a masterclass in the direct-to-consumer model that really defines this new economy. Think about it. She's the CEO, she's the marketing department, she's the product developer, and she's the face of the brand, all rolled into one. This isn't just some passing trend. It's a huge shift in what it even means to be an entrepreneur. So in any business that's built on a personal brand, the product is, well, it's the person. It's that simple. So to really get why she's successful, we have to analyze her unique selling proposition. What is it that makes her brand pop in a market that is just unbelievably saturated? Okay, so looking at this from a pure business perspective, these are the product specifications. These details aren't just personal facts. They are the absolute foundation of her brand's appeal and its strategic positioning in the market. Let's break down why this is so dang effective. This quote right here, this is the entire strategy in a nutshell. In a market that is so often defined by cosmetic enhancements, by a very specific, polished look, her commitment to being natural isn't just a personal choice. It is a powerful, calculated marketing decision. It's what makes her different. It's her core brand differentiator. So what's crucial is how all these little pieces create this one cohesive brand. By emphasizing natural features, taking a minimalist approach, she's building this really accessible girl-next-door persona. And that creates this huge contrast with what everyone else is doing, carving out a very specific niche and attracting customers who are looking for something they feel is more real, more authentic. All right, let's keep moving and see how this all builds. You know, every successful business has that moment, that one critical pivot it has to make to survive, or even better, to thrive. For Yazmin, that moment came super early, and the decision she made ended up shaping the entire future of her business. This timeline just perfectly captures the total chaos she was navigating. I mean, she launches on OnlyFans, the undisputed king of the market, but then the platform threatens its own creators, and even though they walked it back, the trust was just gone. It was shattered. This instability forced her to make what we call in business a classic strategic pivot. So her move wasn't just about changing websites. No way. It was a textbook strategic pivot. She was responding directly to this massive destabilizing shift in the market by changing her entire distribution platform. Why? To lower her risk and secure her business's future. And this comparison right here makes her logic crystal clear. She chose a platform with more reliable payment processing and, most importantly, a more stable, creator-friendly stance on content. She made a classic business trade-off. She sacrificed the bigger name recognition of OnlyFans for the stability and trust of Fansly. She chose security over scale. Smart move. Okay, now let's get into the mechanics of it all. How does this one-woman show actually work? And what kind of money can a business like this actually bring in? Let's run the numbers. Her pricing strategy is basically business 101. She's got a lower-priced gold tier at $15 a month. That's designed for high volume, right? It's accessible, brings in a wide audience. Then you've got the $100 VIP tier, which targets her most dedicated, high-value customers. This tiered model is just a brilliant way to maximize revenue from every single segment of her follower base. All right, let's do some quick back of the napkin math here, starting right at the top of the funnel. On her main platform, Fansly, she has 7,700 followers. That is her total addressable market on that single channel. Now, obviously, not every single follower becomes a paying customer. A pretty conservative estimate for a creator with a really strong connection to their audience is about a 10% conversion rate. So out of those 7,700 followers, we can reasonably guess that around 770 of them are paying members. And this is where it gets really powerful. If we just take those 770 subscribers and let's just assume they're all on that base $15 gold tier, that brings her gross monthly revenue to $11,550. And remember, that doesn't even count her higher paying VIPs or any other income streams. Finally, you've got to account for the platform's cut. Fansly takes a standard 20% fee, which is basically her cost of distribution. After you take that out, her estimated net monthly income from just subscriptions is over $9,000. It just goes to show you the incredible financial viability of a well-run solo creator business. But let's be super clear about something. This is not passive income. Not even close. This is an active, demanding, full-time job. It takes constant creative planning, production, editing, nonstop customer engagement through messages, and managing the entire back end of the business. It is a true entrepreneurial grind. So, after breaking down the brand, the strategy, and the numbers, what does this one case study tell us about the bigger picture, about the broader economy and the future of work itself? The key takeaway here is this really powerful economic concept, disintermediation. It just means cutting out the middleman. See, creators like Yazmin are doing just that. Where studios or agencies or publishers used to control everything, now the power has shifted to the individual. She controls her own production, her distribution, her pricing. That is a revolutionary change. And that leaves us with a really fascinating and maybe even a little unsettling final question. As more and more entrepreneurs build their entire business on their personal identity, you have to ask, where does the person end and the product begin? It is the central tension of this new economy, and it's a question we're all going to be grappling with as this powerful trend just continues to explode.